Welcome to the Denim and Pearls podcast. Business casual conversation laced with pearls of wisdom. Casual, authentic, unscripted dialogue about life, work, and entrepreneurship with the perfect blend of laughter and seriousness. Pull up a chair, kick back, and lean in as we welcome your hosts, Michelle Mross and Brian Swanson.
When you drive through, the cows are walking past you.
It looks like they do that around here too.
Yeah. Harking. There's a dog coming up to see us.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the Porch. My name is Michelle Mross.
And I'm Brian Swanson.
We are Denim and Pearls. We are business casual
With Pearls of Wisdom.
from the Porch.
This is really the porch too today.
We are actually at a ranch in Westcliff, and
Westcliff where?
Westcliff, Colorado.
I thought it was BFE.
No,
It's not Colorado. We are out in the middle of Nowhereville.
and it's phenomenal.
It is. It's awesome.
So if you watch some of our clips, we'll have pictures and things that we'll show around the ranch so you can see where we are. But
Right.
we want to welcome the lady, the woman of the show.
Wow, I thought you were going to do our commercials first.
You want to do our commercials?
Go.
Okay, thank you so much for our sponsors. We have Ink 182. That's ink182.com. They do all of the swag and embroidery needs. Well, actually more of the embroidery and screen printing needs.
Yep.
And then we have A2 Promos. That's a2promos.com. They do all of our swag needs. So if you want to put something on a bag, on a cozy, you name it, they can do it. Then we have europeanheels.com /discount/Marcel, where I wear all of those crazy fancy heels I like to wear from Europe. That's where you want to go. And then we also have
Embellish Butterfly.
Embellished Butterfly. Thank you so much for doing that. Embellishbutterfly.com, where my swaggy cup, the one with all the sparkles I like to use, they do all the bling you can ever possibly need. And then our mid-roll sponsor is
I Build SEO.
ibuildseo.com, and you'll learn more about them at the mid-roll. Now, Brian, how can they find us?
How can they find us? They can find us at DenimAndPearlsLive.com, or of course you can find Denim and Pearls at Facebook and all your other social media needs, Instagram, etc., etc.
But of course, find us on all of our podcasts.
Yes.
So just go to any of your favorite podcast places and you will find Denim and Pearls. Look for that little cartoon figure of the two of us together and you've got us. Now, do we
Does
want
that
to...
move us into anime?
We're kind of an anime.
Kind
No,
of.
not anime.
Sort of. Anyhow.
So anyways,
So
we
why
get to
are we
welcome
here?
someone to the porch. I'm
Why
so
are
excited.
we here, though?
Why are we here?
Yes.
Well, one of my authors from Hold My Crown, Jennifer Myers, invited us out to Westcliff to meet this incredible lady that she is working with. And she's like, you've got to interview her. You talk to business owners. You talk to entrepreneurs. She is it. You need to meet her. And so we're here. We drove out to Westcliff, Colorado to meet Elin. I keep trying to call her Frozen, so I need to stop that.
Well, the neat thing of it is part of what she does, she runs the ranch out here. And of course, there's cattle, there are horses. It's also kind of a dude ranch, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, camera knows I'm looking at you. But kind of like a dude ranch and stuff. But it's a female-owned dude ranch. You don't see a whole lot of that. And that's what I think really makes this special. Because not only is she running the ranch, but she's also an entrepreneur at this point.
And she's awesome. Wait till you hear her stories.
So, welcome, Elin!
Elin to the porch!
Welcome to your porch.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Outstanding.
So cool that this could happen.
I know, and it happened perfect timing. We had
Yeah.
a book signing, and she's out here, and we came out, and you'll see pictures in the thread, but when you come to this ranch, there's a sign that says, slow down.
No return from here.
Enjoy the view, and we'll share that view with you because we did take some
Well,
pictures of it.
I think the camera's actually catching some of it back behind us. They might pick up
You might see a little bit
that
of
in
it.
there.
Now, what's the name of your ranch?
Music Meadows.
Music Meadows, right up my alley.
Yeah, and I'm actually kind of curious. Where did that name come from?
Yeah, great question. So this was when my parents bought the ranch in 1968 from the Beck family, who were old timers settlers that came back in the late
Homesteaders.
So it wasn't Bach, it was Beck.
Yeah, it was Beck. it was not Bach.
I'm trying to get the music
Beck.
thing in here.
So we're getting to the music. So when my parents bought it in 1968, this place was known as the Beck Place. Like everybody would say, that's the Beck Place. My parents, of course, wanted to name it to be, for their time of owning it, Music Pass is a very well-known pass right up in the mountains here that people love to hike up.
Okay.
And I actually need to get the history of like who actually named Music Pass and what inspired them. But it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that if you're quiet and still in this environment, you will hear all of those sounds of music.
As
right?
I did that when we
She
came
was
in.
singing that as we came out,
over the hill, I went, the hills are alive.
There you are.
The sound of music.
So it's true. There's a creek running right through. You can't see the water did start running a little bit the other day. We're excited. But there's a creek running through. You got all the birds. You got the breeze, the wind, whatever. You hear coyotes chipping in the evening. You hear a cow bawling over there and a horse whinnying. Anyway, it's all music, but you got to be still and be quiet to hear it. And so my parents decided to tag team Music Pass, Music Meadows, because this is the furthest ranch south before you hit National Forest.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why they gave us the directions. When you think you're leaving the state, you're in the right place.
Wow, that's crazy. And it amazes me. And I'm a city boy. I was raised in the city, but I had some experience with the country, the lakes, the different things like that, hunting, fishing, what have you. I've had those experiences, but it's always fun to come out here in the middle of nowhere. And I say that literally at this point, because it's always fun to imagine if I was running through on a Conestoga wagon and, coming up against the mountains and going, do I really want to go past there? And I think that's a lot of how our towns and stuff are built, because people like me say, yeah, no, I'm not going over that mountain. And
You're good enough.
This is a great space right here. I've got a river running through it. I've got all of this stuff, and I think it's a great place. So I think one of the questions we want to ask or talk about is the fact of your entrepreneurship. What made you, did you just kind of fall into entrepreneurship, or did we just put a title on what you do, or how'd that come about?
So, what is it they say, that necessity is the mother of all inventions. Or sometimes necessity can be the mother of like what you do next, right? So I obviously, I think people are hardwired for certain things. It's a life is a lot harder if you go against your hardwiring. And so I think I was always hardwired for a love of the land, love of the agriculture specifically, cattle, horses, the land. That's always tripped my trigger. But what's happened in agriculture since my parents were raising our family in eastern Colorado and 6 of us kids, and made a they worked hard, and he was smart, and he did great. But doing the exact same thing that my dad did in the time frame in which I'm an adult and living, you don't get the same results, because y'all are familiar with inflation, but when you're in agriculture, it's like times 100.
Yeah,
because,
especially now.
Yeah, because like the unit you sell, like if it's cattle, like say in 1940, maybe it took 3 steers out of your herd to buy a new F-150 Ford pickup. And then maybe like today, it takes like 60 or 70.
Wow. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
And you would think with the higher prices of cattle that it would be at least the same, if not less. But because of the high price, the price of the cattle didn't go up at the price of the car or the truck.
And every input that you put into raising the cattle has gone exponential. So in other words, the fuel, all the
transport,
the dentist, just the basic stuff.
Right.
So anyway, so that's the reality I found myself in, and I was, we were just trying to do more on very narrow margins, and I had a degree from animal science degree from CSU, but I partway in realized I should have been in ag business, not animal science, and then I was like, and so I took all the ag business classes I could, and I remembered in the mid 1995, and I was just seeing no future in this work. You lease the next ranch over, you get bigger, but you're not making anything more. All your inputs go up too, and I was tired of not having cash, being in debt, and married at the time for little kids. But I thought, wonder if we went directly to the dinner plate with the type of beef that people are saying they want, because our industry, our Cattlemen's Association, was basically saying, you don't know what you're wrong. Hormones, antibiotics, and all that aren't bad. Eat it the way we raise it. And they weren't willing to address consumer discontent, consumer need. And I looked at what was going on and I thought, well, gosh, that's kind of a losing battle. And perception is reality. So why not
put that down in the quote book.
raise what they're asking for, go straight to the consumer, and vertically, right? I learned in college you could vertically integrate, and maybe we could make enough money to have a decent living without working like maniacs. So that's
Work
where it
smarter,
started. Yeah,
not
trying
harder.
to work smarter, not harder. So that's what kicked it off. That was my brain, my process. Is what we're doing is it's not working.
That is the entrepreneurial mind. She saw a problem, she adjusted, she looked at everything else and said, this is the end goal I want, this is what we're going to have to do. They adjusted. Right. And that's the entrepreneurial mind. And that's why businesses that fail don't have that onset of, okay, this is what's happening in the market. I don't care what these people are saying. This is what I'm seeing. Shift. That's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited.
That part went well.
Yeah. So you are now producing beef that is grass-fed.
Yeah, and furthermore, these terms have been butchered by, no pun intended, the terms have been butchered by the industry to where they don't mean a whole lot anymore. So we are very particular to say our beef is grass finished. 100% grass finished. So for people who care about that, and not everybody's our customer, and that's fine. But for people who care about that, they know that we're not playing with terms and saying, for example, some places might have a pasture where the cattle are. And
technically, they do eat grass sometimes.
And they have feeders out there. And the cattle come and go to the same feed, the corn and all that the people don't want their animals to have eaten. They want them finished on the grass because it changes the chemistry of the meat, and they want that chemistry. Right. They want that omega-3s and all the terms that I can't think of at this moment.
Well, from my experience, you have these labels, but you can also, as a consumer who knows nothing about beef, you can actually tell a flavor difference.
Yes.
I mean, you really can tell. In fact, I was a little taken aback when a friend of mine was raising pigs for a little while. And he's like, yeah, you need to have one of these pigs. And I'm like, sure, great. That makes sense to me. I know it's all natural. I know there's blah, 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 blah. And then I ate the meat and went, oh this is not what I'm used to.
Yeah.
It's huge.
We're not used to it. I mean, there's even people out there that think that their beef and their pork come from the grocery store, plain and simple. But you're the beginning of the process here for for not the technicalities, but the beginning of the process now.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
And to what you said, it occurred to me in 1995 when I started this that people did not even know, as a rule, what good beef tasted like anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not totally dissing the whole beef industry. It's good, better, best. So it's, okay, good, better, best.
Right.
But if you have a choice, who of us isn't going to go for the best? For our bodies, for our palate, for, our peace of mind?
Well, I mean, it's just like anything else. I mean, if you like a fine wine, you don't go for the $1.98 bottle. I mean, some people might, but...
Well, and that's one of the things I learned living overseas. I was in Europe for a very long time. And so when I was eating out there when my babies were being born and things like that, when we came back to America, I had great difficulty with the food shift because I could taste it. Yeah. So not everyone can taste that change, but for being there for 5 years or 5.5 years, I came back and went, something tastes wrong. And I mean, I remember for a while there, I didn't know what to do because everything tasted wrong. Yeah, the chicken tasted wrong. The beef tasted wrong. I'm like, maybe I'm a vegetarian. I mean, it was really bizarre because I didn't know what was going on. It was because over there, everything was very regulated that they didn't have a lot of chemicals in their food. And I was having real food. Right. And now we found you.
No, I do want to ask a question. I kind of alluded to it in the introduction. how is it for you as a woman in what I would consider probably a man's world?
Yeah, that's huge.
I mean, as an entrepreneur, that's one thing because that's a mindset. But you're working in the cattle and the horses and different things like that, which is, I think, historically has been a man's world. So how do you think you've done through that? Have you had any trials and tribulations when it comes to just why is there a woman on a ranch?
Yeah, great question. And you might think my answer is a little bit surprising, but
Well, I know you grew up out here too, so that's a piece of it. But what?
Yeah, but even beyond that, because I look around at, I grew up in small town eastern Colorado and farming and ag. My parents came from that, they're the sons and daughters of pioneers who came to Southwest Kansas and Dodge City and that area.
Right.
Anyway, what I can tell you about that is that in the West, and I have a cousin who, she and her husband are publishers, also Fulcrum Publishing up in Denver.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Anyway, I gotta get the name of the book for you, but anyway, they did a piece that really dug into, and in the West, interestingly, as far as women's suffrage and treatment of women and how women were viewed and in the men's thing, the West was so far advanced beyond what it was in the East, much like there wasn't near as much discrimination against the blacks and the other people in that day. That wasn't nearly as much of it in the West
Because we were workers. Everyone was working together to live.
Because people saw people as people, and men saw women as equal partners. Because everybody knew they depended completely on each other, and they weren't good. And the women oftentimes outlived the men. There are so many women who ended up owning these vast ranching empires, who ran them, like completely ran them on their own after their husband had passed away, and they were respected and everything. And so, I think in the West, the culture in agriculture is just a lot more equitable or accepting or whatever. And
I kind of picture some of it too, and sorry for the interruption, but I picture it too because a lot of times the woman stayed home, ran the ranch while the husband went off and did something else. Whether, if you look at the old movies, they went off to Dodge City or they went off to Colorado Springs or they went off here and there. So, and that wasn't a short trip. You didn't just jump in a car and go for 3 hours and you're in Kansas.
Right.
You got on a horse and it took you how many weeks or months to do it. So
yes,
the wife had to take care of that, the kids, the whole 9 yards.
No, you're absolutely right. And so that element of it is still there. So yes, I would say, like when I would go to cattle sales, and like for my dad, when he was still living, and we were buying a lot of yearlings, and I was taking care of all that business.
What's a yearling?
I was going to say, what's a yearling? You caught me off on a word.
What's a yearling?
That'd be a calf that's weaned off of its mother, and it's about a year old. And my dad's business was to purchase those from other ranchers who raised them for birth. So that would be a cow-calf operation. My dad bought the yearlings that those guys sold, and he grew them out in the summers and put 250 to 300 pounds on those cattle, and then turned around and sold them at a profit to the feedlots, which then finished them out on the grain.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so there's all these segments.
My goodness.
Yeah.
So complicated.
So anyway.
Hey, we're learning things.
We are.
I honestly didn't know what a yearling was. And I've been around a bit.
Well, I knew what a yearling was because my friend's parents owned a dairy farm.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
But I didn't think you know. I was helping you out.
So I would go to the cattle sales and decide which ones to buy, have to know how much to spend and when to stop bidding, when to bid more, and then, do all the logistics and line all that up. And so, I was doing all that. And I think I felt a little, I probably struggle with a little bit of, sometimes I think maybe a little bit of like, I'm kind of being watched, or, I'm kind of being like, I'm strange there. Like it's not, they're there aren't really by any other women like doing that at that particular sale on that particular day.
So how many acres do you have out here?
3,800 acres.
3,800.
100.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And how much cattle do you have?
So we stock it in the summers mostly. So the cattle aren't here year round. Most of them are not here year round. So it varies.
Makes me think of a fishing pond.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It kind of is. They're stocking the...
Yeah, stocking the ranch. So it varies a lot. And so when you all probably know farmers and ranchers are very focused on the weather, more so than everybody else. Well, it's because the stocking capacity of the ranch is directly correlated to the moisture levels.
Oh.
Here, especially because we have the mountains and the snowpack makes the creeks run, and the creeks give us the water to irrigate the meadows. And if we can't irrigate the meadows, the stocking rate goes to probably 30% of what it would be.
Wow, we just learned a lot there. Did you hear that?
Yeah. You'll have to rewind to go back and pick up all of that. My next question, how many, I guess I would say employees, but out here you would say hands, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you have here? I mean, because you can't herd the cattle. I don't think that's the right terminology, is it? That's cats.
You herd cattle.
You herd cattle.
Okay.
And you know, in the business, you know, in the city, they herd cats.
Okay, there you go.
Really
so,
big
I mean,
cats
you can't
out
do
there.
this all by yourself.
No.
There's no way.
No.
So as an owner, as an entrepreneur, I'm presuming you have to have employees of some.
So the summer, the nature of the ranch being for the livestock, primarily summer based. You know, I have part-time. I have actually part-time ranch help to help with irrigating, fencing. You know, getting all those kind of technical work done in place, and then you kind of fall into the routine of moving cattle to fresh pasture. Well, that's where the guest ranch comes in, because we have our guests with our guides who actually help with the pasture, rotating the cattle onto fresh grass.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's so cool.
That is awesome. I mean, that's utilizing your resources. That's awesome. I never even thought about that.
Well, what's also really exciting is we're in her house that they used in the summer when she was a kid.
Yeah.
This
A lot
is
of
really
memories here.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Definitely neat. And you all see the hats. I think everybody gets one, right?
Yes.
They get issued a hat when they come out here.
They can try them on till they find one that fits.
Well, and just to give you a heads up, we had to make sure we were wearing boots because we got brought into the barn. And I hope it's so cool. He was wearing tennis shoes. That's pretty funny to me. City boy.
We're grateful it's muddy right now.
Grateful?
Because
Yeah,
the
grateful.
moisture.
Why?
Well, what
Oh,
we just talked about.
Oh,
Moisture.
for that. Okay,
We need
okay.
water.
I thought you were talking about so I could walk through the mud. You were grateful I could walk through the mud in the horsey.
But we need the moisture. And see, that's why it's so important. I always talk about people who say, oh my gosh, it's raining again. I do, yeah, it's raining again. Because people like you in your industry need it. And it comes down to us. It comes to those of us who are consuming. We need them to have the moisture so we can keep the prices down. For those of us who are meat eaters, just
That's
saying.
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
there are some people who don't eat meat.
Which is totally cool too.
Yeah.
So we are going to break for commercial right now.
Oh, I think we're probably past that.
I know, but I want to break for it, and then we'll piece it together, right?
Sure.
Because I don't know what time it is. Well,
I don't either. We're going to have to
just
figure it out.
realized is none of us are wearing a watch.
No.
Oh, I've already, my internal brain says we're at about 24 minutes.
I think so too. I think we're at a good 30.
So lead us into the commercial and then I'll get up.
Okay, because what I also want to make sure we do is we never asked her full name and the name of her business.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
We kind of just skipped that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll be right back after this commercial. Thank you for joining us on the porch. We share the nuances and lessons we've garnered from throughout our combined 40 years of life experiences. Talk from the porch is always serious, but full of laughter, and we're glad you're here with us. Like, share with a friend, and please subscribe to our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And remember, join the conversation every Friday at noon Mountain Time. We'll see you on the porch. And we're back. My name is Michelle Moroz.
And I'm Brian Swanson.
We are Denim and Pearls. We are business casual
with Pearls of Wisdom.
from the porch. And we have a guest here today, and we failed to ask her her full name.
Details,
Well,
right?
maybe she don't want folks to know who she is.
No, you want to know her.
Okay.
It's okay. If you only remember that it's Elin, and if I answer the phone when you call, you'll go, "Oh, I saw you. You're Elin." So Elin Parker. That's my given name, and my married name is Ganschow. Elin Parker Ganschow.
And they can now. You were just talking about the meat and the ranch and things like that, and I asked you off camera, can we get a cow?
And what are you going to do with it? You don't have room in your backyard.
No, I want to eat the cow.
Oh.
So can't get. You were talking about.
I'm looking at you picturing your backyard going, no, it's not going to fit.
Yes, it will. It'll fit at the cabin. So do you have a program or something like that, right?
We do.
So what is that? What does that
It's
work?
called, our company is called Sangre's Best,
Sangrea's Best.
and you pre-order your beef for fall delivery. Yeah.
So
Right on-
cool.
So what are you doing? Are you ordering a calf and then saying
Growing
then
it
you
up?
raised it and then I get my meat later?
Yes. So basically, you put a deposit down for however much of that you want. So there's 8 boxes for every beef animal, 8 boxes that are 1/8 beef units. So if you need 50 pounds of beef, you order an 1/8. If you need 100 pounds of meat, you order a 1/4. If you need more, you order a 1/2. And we have a community coordinator program that's fabulous, where you can pay the lowest price and tell your friends and family about it, and we make it super easy.
Sangrea's Best. We
How do you
will
spell
write that
that?
down.
How do you spell
So
that?
it's SANGRES.
Like a wine. Sangria.
Yes.
Not sangria. Oh,
Sangria.
Sangria. Because these mountains,
There's wine that goes with beef, I agree.
Okay.
these
Sangria
mountains
Mountains.
are called the Sangres.
Sangrea's Mountains.
Uh-huh.
So Sangrea's Best. And we'll put that in the type so that you can actually get that. And again, go to Sangrea's
Sangre's Best.
best.com, and you can look in, find out if you can purchase a cow as she grows it up, and then you and your friends can
Have
get a box of a barbecue. I love this. I'm sorry, I think this is the coolest thing. Don't worry, honey, I bought you a cow for Christmas. Don't worry, it's coming later.
Yeah, but there's no bacon.
That's the wrong animal.
Oh. Okay.
I can tell you where to get that too.
City boy. Good. So sangreasbest.com. And now we are in a cabin.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a cabin. And I was talking to, I'm going to kill your name.
Elin.
Elin! I keep trying to call you something else. I was like, Elin! I can
Almost
see
like Elon Musk.
Squealin' Elin.
Squealin' Elin, there you
My
go.
dad.
Squealin' Elin, that's what your dad called you. But Elin has this cabin, and I was talking to her about having a retreat. Because I would like to bring a whole bunch of women together or men together and have a retreat. She says, I've got a place. We're in it. Mm-hmm. So if you're thinking about having a retreat in some, like a private group of people that are willing to share bathrooms, because this is a tight-knit place, okay? And it's beautiful. You've got the ranch, you've got the horses, and she's got, she's got horses. She's got a picture of horse too. But and she's got all these different programs, and I'm about to ask her. Okay, so don't mind. I'm blabbling, but I'm excited about it because she shared with us one of the things. Have you seen? It was a Billy Crystal movie where they all went out on horses. And do you know what this movie? You know the movie,
I
right?
remember the name of it.
City.
City Slickers.
City Slickers.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever wanted to have one of those experiences? Screaming Elin. Tell us more about that.
There you go. So it's funny because the way that, on the entrepreneur side, the way that got kicked off is after the movie City Slickers came out, which was sometime there in the early 90s.
I think it was
80s.
like 83s, 84.
Wow, was it that long?
Yeah,
been a
I was in high
while.
school.
Well, my friends then saw that there were articles coming out about this ranch and that ranch doing this for the first time, this sort of thing, and creating a venue. And they kept sending me these articles and saying, Elin, you should, you have these friends. You should do this. You could do this. You should do this. And I was like, I had my little kids and I just pedal down, work. I was like, and when in the hell would I do that?
When will I find the time?
What else do I need a new hobby?
Anyway, they pushed me on that, and then that plus the fiscal inadequacy of the ranching. It's just, I was like, how can I make more money? So that was the other thing at the same time, and I thought, okay, if I did this, how would I do it? Because I'm not doing this, that, and the other. If they don't like it, I won't have a business. Which is like, back of the envelope again. It'll be this and this and this and this, and if they don't like it, then fine. Anyway, everybody. So at that time, it was load the horse in a trailer, and literally you went off and helped me all day.
Oh,
whatever.
that's a lot of work.
Yeah. and people.
That's really cool when you pay to work.
Yes, but people loved it.
It's so cool.
They loved it, and it was a hit, and we got and then my kids. When people saw my kids working, like little kids, they couldn't believe my kids, and then they got they get the tips, man. I'm telling you,
it's that work
could not
ethic.
Believe my kids. So when they were young and stuff, and we were doing this, so it was amazing.
So are they still available? Is that still available?
So yes, so we've expanded it. Now you don't have to go all day with me out there. Now it can be a combination of hard work and fun. Coming and staying here, we call it Gateway to the Horse. It's way more than horseback riding. We develop we help you. You set goals when you get here, and we help you achieve your goals regarding horsemanship and your vacation. How about that?
That's awesome.
So
just think about team building.
I think one of the big things that I'm wondering about, and I don't know if our viewers out here are wondering the same thing. If we were to get involved with this, is it recommended that we like be in tip-top shape to be out here? Or is it something where, yeah, that's not happening and I can sit back and watch everybody else do it?
So great question. Great question. So in our website, as far as our horseback riding goes, we have like big front and center. If your body mass index is over 30, we're recommending horseback riding may not be for you. That said,
Brian just looked down at himself.
That said, we actually have an alternative. So if there's people in the group who are not going to be able to ride horses for any reason, maybe they're pregnant, maybe they're
right.
whatever. We also have a team and wagon, and there's a lot we can do with both. And so you can have a mixed group where, like, we've had grandmas bring like their children and their grandchildren. And we take the wagon and rendezvous for the picnic out on the others are out riding. We have a way of learning to harness and drive and do stuff. There's things with horses. You don't have to be riding them to really benefit from an experience with horses.
And the thing about horses is there's a peace about them. And if you have anxiety, horses, just being around them, they can feel you. They're just the most incredible animals. And so that's when I got excited about that. I'm like, I might be having a retreat here because I love this idea of bringing people together in an unfamiliar place. So if you're looking for a retreat where you are really not attached to the internet, this is it.
Yeah, I don't think my phone's working.
But that's what's so beautiful about it is when people say retreat and they go into some city place and there's a pool and a cabana boy and everyone's still on their phones doing everything, you are completely taken out of that here. You have the option to internet, but I would pull that plug if you truly want the experience of being out here and realizing that there is a camaraderie of teamwork that must happen to make things happen out here. And that's what you were sharing earlier. There's a peace about this place. There is music in the air when you get quiet enough to hear it.
Yeah. Truly, it's not just your perception. We hear this over and over and over again. People come here, they settle right into this little place here, and they just feel right at peace, right at home. We've had people like with, I know, big shifts in terms of like outlook when they've been here. And we have two of our best amenities, the fire pit out here with endless wood supply, and the night sky with the dark skies. This is a dark skies valley. We're the darkest part of the whole valley. And and then waking up to that sunrise and anyway, it's 360 degrees here. It's like, we wouldn't have what we have without everything that the good Lord has done to craft this all together for us here.
So it's a whole new world and a whole new piece that many people are not familiar with.
It truly is. And just driving into this area, it's God's country. I mean, it's so beautiful and so open, and the sky is so amazing. And I told Brian, we have to be out of here before the sun goes down because I won't find my way back out. I mean, there is no light out here but the stars and the moon. It's beautiful. So check it out. Go to the website and Sangrea's Best for the meat side, and then musicmeadows.com if you want to look for the retreat, go check out the pictures, go check out this area, because there's so much to offer that Elin has here. And then I'm so glad that she kept her family land here and grew it, because that's the entrepreneurial spirit. That's the business side that we talk about in Denim and Pearls. Business casual with pearls of wisdom from the porch. She's the walking pearls of wisdom from the porch. And we are literally in what used to be a porch.
It is a porch.
It's beautiful.
And I just, one thing very important to me, because I may have my family and sisters who also, so I am part of a family.
Yes.
We all own the ranch together. We've got stories to tell about achieving, like putting this in a conservation easement, agreeing on things together, operating the ranch. I'm boots on, and I lease the ranch, and I'm the one that wouldn't leave Ag alone.
All the six kids.
They all have other wonderful talents and everything. But anyway, and my brother Orville. So anyway, it is a family ranch, and I just happen to get to privilege to be the one on the ground here all the time. So
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's just beautiful. And I love that it's a family ranch and that you kept it in the family, and it's growing to what it is. And it's still growing. I mean, it's still growing. And she showed us this root cellar back there in the very back. We're going back there, by the way. I want to see inside of this root cellar. For those of you who have no idea what a root cellar is, my first idea of a root cellar was from the little house on the prairie where they would go out and they would go into another place and the food was stored under the ground. Mm-hmm. It's a root cellar. And I really want to go out there. So, Elin, this is amazing. And I hope you at least check out the websites and say, oh my gosh, this is awesome, or I need a cow, whatever it is. Because my husband has no idea what's happening, but I want a cow.
Make sure you got a big enough freezer.
That will split, the neighborhood will all come in together and we can split up the meat. Because can you imagine doing that? That just is the coolest idea. I didn't even know it existed until I moved out to Westcliff. And that is one of the things that the people out here do, is they buy a whole cow and they split it. Mm-hmm. Or they get an entire hog and they split it. And it's something that city folks, Brian, have no clue about. And I think it's the most beautiful thing. It's community. There's a lot of community that happens out here. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Outstanding.
Yes. Who's outstanding? Who's outstanding?
Well, somebody's... That's not really a field, though.
They're not outstanding anymore.
It's not a field.
No. Well, anyways, I wish there were more. I wish we could see all the cows, but way out there, there's horses.
There's horses.
Yeah, lots of horses.
They got the life, don't they?
They do. Mm-hmm. And I
There's
love
a fake bull out there.
That's not a...
I'll teach you how to catch it.
I just saw that. That's a roping.
It's a
how to
roping.
catch it?
Oh, I know how.
Oh,
I've
you
been there,
do?
done that.
Oh
I
my
may not
gosh.
be very good at it because I ain't got no practice.
Oh,
But
that's awesome.
I know exactly.
It's like riding a bike.
You set the horns out there and you throw the rope around its neck.
Uh-huh.
I just walk right up to it and go like this. I think we need to call it into this.
Yes. So thank you so much for joining us today. And yes, this is a pre-recorded one because we're out on the ranch where I told you we wouldn't have internet to do this. There's magic to that.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right.
Thank you.
Oh, it's awesome. Anything else you want to add to finish it off?
Yes. Anything we forgot to ask you?
No, they're really, there's stories forever, but basically to you all who are dialed in, I just want to let you know, I just met these folks. They're fantastic. Whatever you think, they're authentic and fantastic, I can tell you. And
It took us a while to find you out here, too.
Yes. But I just wanted to let you know that everything we do, from the production of our beef for you, for whoever wants to eat beef, and also what we do here at the ranch, we really just really have a servant's heart, all of us. And I've surrounded myself with people who also have a servant's heart. And, it's not a mass-produced thing. None of it's mass-produced or based on mass production. It's really one experience at a time, one interaction at a time, and really just try to take care of those relationships. If something doesn't go just right, it's just an opportunity to show you that we meant what we said when we guaranteed that beef, or when we said, whatever it is that we've claimed.
Come on out.
Okay. Anyway, that's it.
Come on out. And
All right.
Thank you so much for being with us today. And remember, my name is Michelle Moras.
And I'm Brian Swanson.
We are Denim and Pearls. We are business casual
With Pearls of Wisdom.
from not the proverbial porch.
Adios.
You say adios, we say peace.
Peace.
So yeah, I grew up in eastern Colorado, grew up on a farm and ranch, and kind of lived on horses from the time I was very, very young.
How many miles over to that big mound over there I see sticking up above the truck?
Is this on?
Yeah.
That would be that's about 12 miles.
Not bad.
She said miles. Did you notice that?
Yes. 12
12
miles.
mile.
12 mile.
It's 12 mile.
Yeah.
He says mile. I always put an S on everything.
Yeah.
Properly,
Where are
it
you
is
from?
miles.
Where are you from?
Northern Indiana.
Oh, very good. Right on.
It's just what was the one I said the other day? Foot? It's 12 foot.
Yeah. I talk like that.
See, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
When you write it, it's different, but when you're speaking, it's 14 mile.
Now you have to say your full name.
Elin Parker Ganschow.
Elin Parker Ganschow.
And that middle name I took after I divorced and remarried. That is my surname, Parker. So before that, it was Elin Annette Parker.
Oh, goodness.
That was my given name.
Okay, we're going to have you say your name.
Now let's see if we got this one recorded.
Okay.
See how that turned out.